Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're setting a goal to completely demystify how we talk about tomorrow. If you've ever paused mid-sentence just trying to figure out the right way to express something that hasn't even happened yet, well, you are in the perfect place.
So I want to pose this question directly to you. Think about it. How do we actually talk about tomorrow without totally overcomplicating things today? English actually has quite a few ways to look ahead into the future, but there's one foundational tense that really acts as our default, everyday tool. Okay, let's dive right into this.
Here is our roadmap for today. First, 1. Meet the future simple. Then, 2. The simple formula. Next, 3. When to use will, followed by 4. Will versus be going to. And finally, 5. Avoiding common mistakes.
All right, Section 1. Meet the future simple.
Now this is your most basic, reliable way to talk about the future in English. Honestly, when there's no specific reason to use another fancy future tense, this is the one you just pull right out of your toolbox. And what's really interesting is this exact quote from our sources. It's almost like the verb refuses to dress up for the future. It shows up exactly as it is. I absolutely love this metaphor of the naked verb. The action word literally doesn't change its shape at all. There are no special endings to memorize, no complicated forms. It just pairs up with the word will to point us straight forward in time.
Moving on to Section 2, the simple formula.
Let's anchor the simple math of how we actually build this tense. For a positive, affirmative sentence, it's just your subject plus will plus your base verb, like she will go there. Simple, right? For a negative, it's subject plus won't plus the verb. And for a question, you literally just swap the subject and will around. Why will they go there? It's highly predictable and beautifully simple.
Now, while saying I will go or I will not go is perfectly correct grammar, native speakers almost always use the contracted short forms in everyday speaking. I will becomes I'll. I will not becomes won't. Emphasizing and practicing these short forms, I'll, you'll, she'll, won't, is absolutely crucial if you want to sound natural and conversational. It's a real game changer.
And hey, right off the bat, I want you to lock this rule into your brain. Never, ever add the word to after will. Because so many other verbs in English use to, it's incredibly tempting for learners to say something like, she will to visit. Don't do it. Avoid this from the start. It is just will plus that unmodified base verb. She will visit. That's the whole shebang.
Of course, to make these future sentences really work, we need a little context. These time markers, words like tomorrow, soon, next week, someday, these are the vocabulary tools you need to effectively anchor your new sentences in the future. They basically act like little signposts, making absolutely sure your listener knows exactly when the action takes place.
Section 3. When to use will.
So, what triggers this tense? We use will for instant decisions, promises, predictions, and expressing doubts or opinions. I really want you to remember that will is truly the hero of spontaneous thoughts. When you're just reacting on your feet in the moment, will is exactly the grammar tool you reach for.
Let's imagine some real-world scenarios to bring this to life. A phone rings. You make an instant decision. I'll pick up the phone. Or maybe you're making a deep promise. I will always love you. It even applies to intense threats, like, if you leave me, I'll kill you. Or just a simple opinion, like, I think it will rain. Notice how literally none of these are pre-planned events, right? They're reactions, promises, and guesses happening live, right in the moment.
All right, Section 4. Will versus be going to. The ultimate showdown.
For B1 learners, this is usually the single biggest point of confusion. Let's paint a picture. Imagine you're out looking for coffee. You walk into a cafe, look at the menu, and see they have absolutely no lattes. You decide right then and there, oh, this cafe has no latte, I will buy some in another one. That is a spontaneous, instant decision. Now, contrast that with leaving your house already on a mission. You tell your friend, I'm going to buy a latte in my favorite cafe. See the difference? That action was planned well before you ever started speaking.
So, to summarize the core differences here clearly, going to is strictly for the planners. It's for actions you are 100% planning on doing or predictions where you can literally see evidence right now, like dark clouds, meaning it's going to rain. Will, on the flip side, is for the spontaneous. It's for decisions made in the exact moment of speaking and for promises.
Finally, Section 5. Avoiding common mistakes.
A very common mistake is saying something like, I will go to work every day. Now, why is this wrong? Because you simply cannot use the future simple for routines or habits. Yes, your work routine includes tomorrow, but routines are the job of the present simple tense.
The correct, natural way to express this is just, I go to work every day.
And briefly, you might be wondering, what about the word shall? You might see it in older textbooks or legal documents. Honestly, today, shall is mostly an old-fashioned or very formal word. For declarative sentences, will has completely taken over. Shall really only survives now in polite, mostly British English questions when making an offer or suggestion. You know, like the classic movie line, shall we dance?
And just like that, the explainer is a wrap. So I want to leave you with a final test of your new knowledge. What will you do next? Notice how I use the future simple right there to ask for your spontaneous, immediate decision. I encourage you to step out today and practice making your own instant decisions and promises using will. Thanks so much for learning with me. Keep practicing and stay curious.